Well, it's a point of clarity, really. I know this committee's being asked to send comments to scrutiny, so I want to save my comments in relation to the lower income families and the impacts it has. So, are we taking questions now and then moving on to a debate of this? Is that how we're going to work it? Because I'm not clear.
We're taking comments and debating the comments.
Okay, then. So I'd like to make some comments if I can, then, Chair. While the council, we'll talk about Project Fear, and I've been around the block a bit as a local councillor, and I potentially don't buy into what I'm being served here in relation to the MTFS. And every budget meeting that I've been to in the 12 years I've been a councillor, we've always had this budget deficit. So perhaps it might scare some of the newer members, but it certainly doesn't worry me as much as you're trying to project it. While the council argues that the fee is necessary to fund services and encourage recycling, it is crucial to examine the potential impact on lower income families. I would like to shed some light on the reasons why residents oppose this proposal, highlighting the disproportionate burden it places on those who are already financially strained. Straining limited budgets. For lower income families, every penny matters, and the imposition of a £57 charge for green bin collections would create an additional financial burden on these families, who often struggle to make ends meet, and allocating significant portions of their limited budget towards collection fees may force them to make difficult choices, such as cutting back on essential expenses. The proposal undermines the council's duty to prioritise the welfare of its residents, including those who face economic challenges. Lack of alternatives. The introduction of green bin charges fails to consider viable alternatives for residents who cannot afford the fee. Recycling and green waste disposal are crucial for the environmental sustainability, and it is essential that everyone has access to these services. However, implementing charges without providing sensible, affordable alternatives further marginalises lower income families, limiting their ability to participate in environmentally friendly practices. Roving bin collections is not the solution for many residents who have little or no transport. The practicalities of this are nowhere to be seen in the report, and that's before we even consider liability, public liability, health and safety to take into consideration. The disincentive to recycling. By imposing a charge for green bin collections, the council inadvertently discourages residents from participating in recycling efforts. Lower income households may resort in disposing of their garden waste for alternative means, such as burning or fly tipping, which can have detrimental environmental consequences on our district. The proposed charges may hinder the progress in waste reduction and recycling rates within the district. To suggest or expect residents to compost is just ludicrous, as I have received complaints of vermin in more residential areas when food waste is mixed with compost heaps. The unequal impact that this will have. The impact of green bin charges is not evenly distributed across all households. Those with larger gardens or greater volumes of garden waste may feel the financial strain more acutely. However, it is important to note that lower income families, who are more likely to reside in smaller properties with limited garden space, are disproportionately affected by these proposals. Such households may have fewer resources to explore alternative waste disposal methods, making them particularly vulnerable to the financial burden of these charges. Many would argue this proposal is verging on discrimination against a certain part of our community. Social and environmental implications. The proposal to charge for green bin collections threatens to exacerbate existing social and environmental inequalities. It creates a two-tiered system where wealthier households can afford to maintain their green spaces, while those with lower incomes are compelled to neglect their gardens or face additional financial strain. Moreover, the potential increase in fly tipping improper waste disposal can harm the local environment and lead to negative health impacts for our residents. The lack of any environmental impact assessment is also concerning, and thus this report lacks any transparency regarding that. Conclusion. Huntingdon District Council, this administration's proposal to charge £57 for green bin garden collections has elicited opposition from residents, particularly among the lower incomes, pensioners and the vulnerable. The imposition of such charges places an unfair burden on those who are already struggling financially, limiting their ability to participate in sustainable waste management practices. As the Council seeks to promote environmental responsibility, it is crucial to consider the social implications and provide equitable solutions that do not disproportionately impact vulnerable households. A collaborative approach that considers the needs of all residents is essential for building a sustainable and inclusive community. Otherwise, you will be taking this district back 20 years in terms of garden waste. Let me make no bones about it that this is a political decision made by this administration, who claim they are community-focused councillors working for a fairer, greener Huntingdonshire. I see little evidence in this report, and because of what I've heard this evening and the lack of public consultation, I cannot support the proposals, and I urge you all to reconsider this. Thank you.
Hear, hear.